Good afternoon, welcome to the club call. Apologies for it being an hour earlier. Simple thing is, I've got to be gone by 5 o'clock. I'm on Radio Merseyside tonight at 6 o'clock with Phil Munns. I was booked in for that, and Baz is off today, and we just got to do it earlier. It's as simple as that. We've got to do the call. We've got to do the club call earlier, so I can get into town and represent Toffee TV on Radio Merseyside tonight. So if you want to give us a call, of course, it feels like the Premier League's back this weekend, but it feels like ages till we play because it's Monday night. So it's it does feel like it's still a long way till we go. But if you want to talk about anything, Seamus Coleman, I think, would be a good talking point tonight. Troy Parrott. We've been linked with Troy Parrott, obviously, a lot over the weekend. We've been linked with Scott McTominay tonight, who's been a hero for Scotland. So 3 heroes of the weekend there. If you just want to have a chat about him, Seamus Coleman, what do you think? Can he play in the first team? Troy Parrott, has that changed your mind on him? Could he become, a Premier League player once again? And could Everton be a good place for him? And Scott McTominay, obviously ripping it up in Italy, doing fantastic things for Napoli. But at his age, there's some reports today saying Everton are willing to break their transfer record for him. What is he, 28? Well, does that make any sense? Is that where we want to go as a football club? Certainly as maybe we might bring Jack Grealish in the summer as well, spending money on 2 players who are in the late 20s, early 30s. Does that make any sense? So let us know. Let us know. Give us a call and let us know. We're going to be here till 5 o'clock. And if there's anything else, if you're a proud Irishman, proud Scots, proud Welsh fan after last night as well, what a result for Wales last night. I think there was a bit of Everton representation on the bench as well. Tom King was on the bench, wasn't he? So bit of representation there last night. Nathan Broadhead got a goal as well. Former Everton player, current Wrexham player. So if anyone wants to speak about them or anything else, let us know. Obviously, we had Jake O'Brien as well playing centre-back for Ireland. If you watched the game, how do you feel he did against Portugal? Do you think when is the right time to play him at centre-back, or should we just keep going as we're going and there's no need to change anything at the moment as we're doing all right? Let us know. This is your chance to give me a call. James is here as well. He's over there. He's got a cold. I don't want it. So he's in like the...
He said I'm not allowed to sit near him.
Not allowed to sit near me. You've got a cold, and I am like a cold magnet. They just come to me.
2 people waiting as well.
Get the first one on.
First one was... I'm going to go with that's Braden, but I'm not sure.
Well, we'll find out. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Go on. Who is it?
Yeah, this is Braden from Kansas.
Nice.
Yes, Braden from Kansas.
Right.
Like Kansas the state or Kansas the city?
Kansas, the state. I'm from Wichita, Kansas.
Ooh, okay, Wichita. I like it. Wichita.
Yep.
I'm sure that was a line in a film or something. I can't remember.
It's
anyway.
we're famous for the Wizard of Oz.
There you go. There you
Yep.
go. Which I proudly will say I'm going to see Wicked Part 2 on Saturday. So
Haven't seen it.
Well, you won't have because it's not out yet. So unless you work in the cinema, you wouldn't have seen it. So, but you have seen the Wizard of Oz. Does it get windy in Wichita?
Yeah, very.
There you go.
Yep.
Go on. What did you want to say, mate?
I just been keeping up with some of the international games, the Scotland's game, the Ireland game. And it was good to see some of our players, especially for Ireland. Yeah, that was a lot of people are giving Seamus Coleman and Jacob Bryan a lot of credit for how well they played, and but been seeing also a lot of the talk about some of the strikers and people we've been linked with for January, like Scott McTominay, and I don't know what I saw something about a $47 million evaluation for him, and after that bicycle kick. I think I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I feel like he'd be pretty hard to get our hands on.
I'll be honest, if someone's willing to pay that kind of money for him, I can't imagine Napoli turning it down because that's a hell of a lot of money. But, I don't know whether a player of his age is actually worth it. but he's doing brilliantly.
Yeah, it is. And as far as the striker goes, I've heard that Ivan Toney, and I just know that he's on probably some pretty high wages, and I don't know how.
Oh, go on.
Hello?
I can hear someone in the background, but I can't hear him.
That was Fletch.
We've lost you. That's because he wasn't using Wi-Fi, and you can tell he wasn't using Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you can see his camera.
But I can't hear him.
Yeah.
It's the frogs. It's all the frogs in Wichita. Is he back? Have we got him? Has he disappeared?
Maybe leave and join back and see if that will fix away.
Put Fletch on while we're waiting.
Fletch is waiting.
Put him on then.
How did you know he was waiting?
Because it's Fletch. Fletch is always waiting. He's waiting at 3 o'clock in the morning for club call. Go on,
right now as well. Hello.
Go on, Fletch. Go on.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I tell you what, Scott McTominay had a really good audition for Everton last night, didn't he?
Was that his audition, was it, last night?
Yeah, that was his audition.
Okay.
Right, I think he played really well. That goal was a good goal. And
It was a
I
good
know,
goal.
he just looks like an Everton player.
He does look like an Everton player, yeah. He does look like an Everton player. I'll give you that, Fletch. You're spot on.
Do you know what I mean? And what's got to think the United game's going to be on Monday night? I know we've got to wait for it. We've got to watch everybody else. But at least if we're the last ones to play on Monday night, one, I love a good Monday night game. And two, I like the fact that we can see who's around us by the time we play.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Do you know what I
Fair
mean?
enough.
So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame on David Moyes, to be honest, that he's never won it at Old Trafford. But the way United are playing at the minute, and the way we're playing at the minute, it's a good 50-50 challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm going for a 2-2 draw, or we nick it at the end.
Okay. Nice. I like the optimism, Fletch. I like the optimism. I like what you're bringing. You're bringing positivity. I like that.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what the Friking group. I've got a feeling will be watching this game and seeing it as a benchmark for the rest of the season.
I thought you were going to say we'd be watching this club call and be listening for the positivity from you.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. They probably are, you never know.
They might be. They could be watching this now going, get that Fletch on board. He's make him cheerleader or something.
Like, I wasn't impressed with you lot before, by the way.
What was you not?
No, not really.
Right.
I like Charlotte and I like her contributions. I think she brings something to the channel. But you barely even spoke about the United game before. And I was pulling my head out thinking, I've not tuned into this channel for a week. Right, and the first time I tuned into the channel in a week, right, you just don't even talk about the football. You talk about everything else but the football.
I'll be honest, Fletch. I don't care. I'll be honest, mate. I'll be honest. Because I'm it, right? I'll tell you why, mate. I'll tell you why. Because I'm still basking in the glory of beating Fulham. I'm in my happy...
No, but that's Fulham. We're on to United, no?
We're not onto United. We weren't onto United till we got to this show. This is the official countdown to the Manchester United game. And
is that why you want me on there to talk about the United game? Because you knew I was commenting before.
You've just kicked it off. You've just got the positive the ball rolling. I didn't want that to start too early.
I like it a lot.
I wanted that show to be like the last. Talk a little bit about international.
Nice
transition. Actually, we talked about Everton women and we talked about the international. So we did talk about football. We also talked about some rides at theme parks, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah. And I was talking about the Smiler. Like I went on the Smiler before the woman crashed and had to get her leg amputated.
Always bringing the joy, Fletch. I like it. Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? I think, I was still basking in the glory of, the non-stress Everton that I like, and I was loving it.
Exactly.
And now the anxiety starts. You've just...
It's going to be on pins. Well, it's just going to be on pins to watch the game, but that's always the way with David Moyes, though. Every game, as an Everton fan, I'll openly admit, every game I watch Everton play with David Moyes as manager, I'm on pins watching it. From start to finish, because I know there's going to be a load of drama. Something's not going to go against us. It's not going to matter at the end of the game if we don't win or not. And it's just like, That's the ceiling. That's the ceiling that I want to break.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to just get to that like chill play start like we used to be when we first had David Moyes. Like you never football was different.
It was worse back then. It was worse back then than what it is now. It is.
No, it wasn't.
Too right it was. I was a baby. I was a baby blue.
So you couldn't have been stressed as a baby then?
No, but I mean in terms of like the way I think of the game, the way I think of the manager, the way I think of the club. When you're a kid, it's always like just watching it. It's just pure entertainment. But during David Moyes' second stint, he's been at United, he's been at Sunderland, he's been at West Ham twice. He's gained a lot more experience himself, so I expect more from him this time around.
Okay. So yeah, and I get all that. I get that, and I agree with you to a point. I just think that football now is like everything is just like every game is built like Monday Night Football. Like when you think about it, it's all built up, isn't it? I don't like Monday Night Football for that reason because I feel like
the build up, right?
Because of all the weekend builds up to this one game. We're away again. It's our third
That's
away
where it
game.
usually drops off, don't they?
I just don't like it. It might just be in my head, but it just feels like the game gets built up and it's all about... Because the game on Monday night, don't forget, will all be about Man United. The way the Sunderland game was all about Sunderland.
The way it configures everything about it, it'll be
the Leeds game. The Leeds game was all about Leeds, and it really annoys me that. So that's what, I'm not a massive fan of Monday Night Football.
That's because we got David Moyes as manager. I think that message would have changed if Carlo was still manager. I think that outlook would have changed, and it would have been more about Everton and what they could do with Carlo Ancelotti as manager. But there's a couple of things I wanted to say as well. One, happy International Men's Day. Or to that effect, I think it is. It's International Men's Day today.
Fletch.
And happy birthday to James Tarkowski.
James, Fletch, it's happy International Men's Day every day of the year, mate.
Yeah. On Toffee TV it is. Too right it is.
Just everywhere it is. It's we don't need a day. Men don't need a day. So, but
just a quick one. It's my nan's dog Barney.
Yeah.
Nan's dog Barney is the best dog in the world, right? He's a cheeky little soft ass. Excuse my language, right? But he's 2 today.
Oh, fair. There we go. Nan's
2 today. Happy birthday to Barney, my nan's dog.
Happy birthday. It was John Blaine's birthday yesterday. You could wish him an happy birthday as well.
Oh, I've liked on Instagram already. Happy birthday to John Blaine yesterday.
There you go. We've wished everyone a happy birthday and we've sorted it all out. And there you go. Good stuff.
No worries, pal.
Nice one, Fletch.
Take it easy. See you later.
See you later, mate. Mate. There you go. Fletch wishing everyone a happy birthday, including his nan's dog. Which you never, ever thought that was going to happen, did you, James?
I didn't.
You never thought someone would come on and wish their nan's dog a happy birthday.
No, fair enough.
Fair, I know.
I bet you the dog's buzzing.
Dog's like sitting there going, I've been mentioned on Toffee TV.
Yeah.
Now can I have a bone?
Well, Braden's back.
Get Braden back.
But he's currently under a cabinet.
He's under a cabinet?
I'm working. Okay. I'm a plumber.
Okay, he's under a sink.
Can you see him or not?
I can't see him. I don't know if I want to see him. Go on, Braden. Continue where you were. If you
can
remember.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, my wife called in the. It took me out of the call for some reason. So I'm currently working. I'm a plumber.
I can see it. He's on his back. I can see him on his back.
In the morning here.
Yeah, you're looking well. Go on. What else have you got to say then?
Well, I just wanted to give you a little. I heard last week. I think you guys were talking about Jimmy Garner, and you made some comments about how you didn't think he was gonna make it to the level. And I think me and my wife, we watch every game, and he's been one of our favorite players. Week in, week out. And so my question was, do you think that you say that you don't think he's going to get to the level, but the amount he's improved since he's been at the club and stepped into these roles, how do we know what his ceiling is? He's still young, and I think that his level could get, who knows what his level is.
Listen, I do think his level can go higher. I just don't think he'll get in the England team as a centre midfielder. I think that's not downplaying James Garner. That's just saying how high the ceiling. Put it this way, right? Okay, here's the best way to describe it. So James Garner is what, 24? Is he? He's about, okay, he's 24. The next time he's got an opportunity to get in the England squad, really, is after this World Cup, with probably a new manager. Okay? So, the players who are already above him are younger than him. And by the time that next round of games come for the Euros, they'll have already been part of a squad that has gone to a World Cup, and who knows, maybe have won a World Cup. I don't know. I can't say they will or they won't. And I just think that makes it really difficult for a player. Then he's on catch up, isn't he? And I just think that makes it really difficult. If the players who were going into this World Cup were like 28, 29, and it was their last tournament or whatever, then I could understand. I could understand, like, Jordan Pickford's position as the goalkeeper is going to be up for grabs, I think, after the World Cup because of his age and because of young players coming through. But there's not many midfielders, I would say, that could give up their positions. Okay, maybe a Jordan Henderson, but you'll get another young player into the squad. So I just think it's going to be very difficult for him unless, and here's the caveat, he has to go up a level to the point where we start seeing him dominating games in midfield. And as much as I think he has improved this season, and I do believe he's got a level of consistency now that is really good, I think he has to get to a level, because what's happened is, sadly for him, is Anderson has come through really, really quickly, and in the space of like a year has gone from being a player who wasn't playing Premier League football to a player who's now in the England squad. And that to me is like, that's what happens in football now, is like players just get in and that's where it's going to be difficult for him. We'd have to see he'd have to be at a really high level to break into that England midfield. Now, I'm not saying he's like a bad player or anything. I just think the level of England midfielders right now is extremely high, maybe the highest it's been for a generation.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, you talk about Elliot Anderson, and players do drop in, drop out, and there's a lot of young players that are all reaching their ceiling. But in 2 years, when the Euros comes around, he'll be 26, reaching where he could be in his prime. And but even outside of the international perspective, I mean, just when we're talking about signing a new contract, I don't think he should be, as a 24-year-old, on the outstandingly high wages. But I think would be smart to lock him down, because I think that his ceiling, he can be a mainstay. With Ganagay getting up there, and I think that he could be a good. I'd like to see him stick around.
I really would, and I don't think it's any like. I'm not giving him any disservice, by the way, by saying that I don't think he'll become an England player. I think the standard of England players now is so incredibly high now that it's so difficult. England have an incredible crop of players, and they have good players coming through. One thing Everton could do to help James Garner is buy a right back, because if James Garner has to keep moving around positions, he's never going to get to that level that we want to see him at. There's no way any of these other players are going to be moved around. And if Everton are basically saying, well, we can cope without you at right back, at centre back, because you're playing right back, then also what does that say about him as a footballer? So Everton have to get fullbacks to help James Garner become a consistent centre midfielder and become, James Garner could be a future captain of Everton Football Club without any issue. If they lock him down to a contract, and it's a long contract, 4 or 5 years, and it takes him up to his 30s, he could easily become Everton's sort of next captain without any problem. So, but you've got to get him in the position that he wants to play in, and he's happy playing in every single week. And I think that's an important thing that would have to happen for his career. Same as way as Dewsbury Hall, he's come into the team and he plays every week, and you're not going to move him out of position, really. And you've got to say to these players, where do you want to play? Where do you think your best position? And if they're playing in their best position and they're happy and they're doing it well, then who knows? Maybe a chance will arise when they get into the England squad. But I just don't think it's going to happen for him while he's moving round, certainly in an Everton team.
Yeah.
But I hope he does. I really hope he does.
Love to see some in January or even over the summer, if Moyes sticks around. Some fullbacks that like a Baines or a young Seamus Coleman that are winners with, especially just like Grealish. I know we won't have him next year most likely, but I mean he just somebody you saw earlier in the season, Kalenko trying to get around him on overlaps, really pushing up. I think we get exposed a little bit that way, just because I don't think he can really play both sides like that. I think just one quick shout out too.
Go on.
I became an Everton fan from, his name is Martin Jones. I think he lives in Liverpool now, but he was a goalkeeper for Tranmere. So I don't know if he listens to you guys or not, but if you're out there, haven't seen you in years, and yeah, up the Toffees.
Well done, Martin. Well done for converting.
Yep.
Nice one for coming on.
Thanks, man.
Speak to you soon. See you later. Bye now. Bye. James, what are your thoughts on? Because we've had this discussion, I think,
about James Garner.
About James Garner playing for England.
I think I know we've went over this, but Elliot Anderson, he's having a good patch, but I don't think he's like a impenetrable like force in England's midfield. I don't think he's as good. He's not a £130 million player now. I don't think. I think he's had a good few months.
Why does he have to be 130?
That's apparently how much Man United want to buy him for, isn't it?
Man United are stupid though.
Yeah, they are, but I think if you look at the England squad, apart from Declan Rice, I feel like the midfield's a bit of a free-for-all at the minute.
Is it though?
Jude Bellingham, but then
Jude.
That's not the position that Garner would be going for.
But what position would Garner be going for?
The one that was, I don't know, the past few times it's been like Calvin Phillips and stuff.
Calvin Phillips hasn't. You said this today. Calvin Phillips hasn't played for England for 4 years.
Yeah, but that was like the last World Cup, wasn't it? It was Calvin Phillips in the midfield.
Never, it was the Euros.
They had like John Stones in there for a bit.
It was the Euros. That was the last time Calvin Phillips went to play for England. I'm sure of it. Once he left Leeds, he was done as an England player.
Well, he played there in the last one. It was Bellingham just a bit deeper in, and that's what everyone had to go with.
Rice. It was Mainu in the last Euros come in and done well. Rice done well, but he was playing like as a six, as they were playing 2 6s. But they don't really play like that anymore, do they? They play I think they play like 3 across the midfield now, and it's like 3. They play like 3 up front and 3 midfield, and so going off like. Yeah, let me find the England team from the other day. So when did they play? They played Sunday, didn't they? Did they play Sunday? Yeah, they played Sunday. Yeah, so on Sunday where he made a few changes, the midfield was Adam Wharton, Declan Rice and Bellingham. So I feel it's Adam Wharton and Elliott for that position at the moment.
Yeah. Right?
The wide players, Eze played left, Bowen played right. So, and then you had Rashford coming on the left, and you also got... So... That sort of bins and you've got Anthony Gordon. So that bins like the idea of Jack Grealish coming in, as far as I'm concerned. You've got Wharton, you've got Elliot Anderson. Who else have you got in there? And you've got Jordan Henderson, who's in there for the experience.
Scott got called up, didn't he?
But he's a right back, isn't he?
Alex Scott's midfield.
Left. I thought he was a left back. Huh? Sorry, a right back. Oh, what?
He's a centre mid.
Is he? Don't pay attention. I thought he was in the jungle. But that's the point, isn't it? So you've got 3 players there who are all younger than Garner, and Wharton and Anderson are both playing in Europe as well.
Yeah, but they're not properly playing in Europe.
Well, they are. They're playing in Europe. They're playing in Europe. They're playing in Europe.
Like Declan Rice playing in Europe.
No, but they're playing 2 times a week, and that's the difference. See, they're playing 2 times a week, and they're playing well. So there's a bigger sample pot to see whether they're playing well or not, and that's the difference. And they are playing. That's a step above where James Garner. I just don't see it personally. I just don't see James Garner getting in an England team. Number one, and I think this is the most important thing. I don't think he's good enough. I just don't think he's good enough to play for England. When I look at those players, I don't think James Garner's good enough to play for England. And that's the simple truth. I think he's been a lot more consistent. I think he's doing really well. But I don't look at him and go, oh, you're an England player, you. Because when I watch him, I don't watch him dominate midfields. And that's the simple point. I don't see him dominate midfields. You know, And that's it. And that's to the level where he has to get himself to. And that's on him. And if he gets that level, that's fantastic for Everton. And you know what? If there's a sniff of him getting for England in the England squad, that's brilliant for us.
Yeah.
That is brilliant for us, because if he sees that chance and he's bettering on himself every single day, then that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Maybe he could get in at right back.
I know, yeah. Kwanzaa played right back.
Yeah, which is mad. There are some players, and I will grant you, there are some players that sort of become England players by default. Like, I've never understood the Kwanzaa thing. I don't think he's a decent... I think he's like an average centre-back.
Yeah, played for Liverpool.
And it's like, yeah, because he played for Liverpool. And it's like they're destined to play for England. And maybe that's because they come through... maybe that's because they come through the England system. But it's like they're destined to play for England. Yeah. And yet other players are like, you look at them and have to fight so much harder to play for England. So, but...
Because even you look at the bench, they played Kwanzaa right back. Jed Spence and Reece James are both on the bench.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like these international managers just take a shine to these players because it's like they've been around squads and stuff. And that's why I think it's very hard for players. Like,
yeah, but if you use Darren's excuse, James Garner was a part of that team that won the under-21 Euros.
No, I know, but Kwanzaa was like right into the England squad, wasn't he? Off the back of it. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's like
between him and Branthwaite, weren't it, to be like the fourth choice.
And it didn't make any. And yeah, maybe because Branthwaite got injured, and has been injured, and maybe that's the way they look at it as well. But it just seems like some people, their faces just fit. Their faces just fit. I don't know. I find it very strange sometimes when these things happen. Anyway, yeah. So if you want to have a conversation about that, then give us a call. We have got no more callers at the moment, I imagine, because that's because we've kicked off earlier. But have we got any comments, James, on Toffee TV Premier?
We don't know what that was.
That? Some kind of a notification?
We had Hardy from Gary Ward,
as always.
Toffees from Fletcher Birch, and he said, well, afternoon, and David Eo just put frog emojis, and that's it so far.
Is that it? That the level we're going for?
People aren't used to this change.
No, I know. Talking about the World Cup, right? So, isn't it mad, right? So, hang on, I just want to find the World Cup quality.
It's the first time you ever said World Cup to me without singing the speed song.
World Cup! You're a gay. Don't even want to say it in case I get. Have you seen some of the teams who've qualified?
You were talking about Curacao, weren't you?
So, there's going to be 104 games in the World Cup next year, and that's gone up from 64. Like, that is mad, isn't it?
Mental.
But some of the teams who've qualified is just mad. Like
Cabo Verde,
Haiti have qualified. Like,
Panama.
No, when you think about it, like maybe like there's a possibility, like say Italy might make it.
Yeah, it's mental.
Do you know what I mean? And I know it's different. So these are the teams who qualified so far for the World Cup. Canada, Mexico and United States, they're hosts. Japan, New Zealand, Iran, Argentina, Uzbekistan, South Korea, Jordan, Australia, Brazil, Ecuador, Uruguay, Colombia, Paraguay, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Algeria, Ghana, Cape Verde, South Africa, Qatar, England, Saudi Arabia, Ivory Coast, Senegal, France, Croatia, Portugal, Norway, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Austria, Switzerland, Spain, Scotland, Panama, Haiti and Curacao. That's mad.
We've seen the playoff tournament qualifiers as well. Bolivia, Congo, Iraq, Jamaica, New Caledonia and Suriname.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be honest, right? In this World Cup, there's going to be some beatings.
Yeah.
There's going to be some ridiculous beatings, I think. If an England or even like Norway with Haaland or Spain, if they get one of those teams, that's going to be... I mean, don't get me wrong, they could defensively like go 6 at the back and really and it'll be terrible.
Yeah.
But some of those games could be ridiculous.
Oh, it could be amazing.
It could be, but I just...
Congo.
Who's your shock? Who's your shock out of all those teams? Who to win it? Who out of all those teams is upsetting somebody?
Jamaica.
See, last World Cup we had.
Jamaica have got a few. They've got like Holgate and stuff now, haven't they? You've got a few just.
Last World Cup we had like Saudi Arabia beating Argentina, didn't we?
Yeah.
But Saudi Arabia are quite an established World Cup team. Like some of them. Obviously, have never been near a World Cup in their lives, and without the expanded tournament that we've got now.
So what? If you look at the Jamaican national team, you've got Ethan Pinnock who plays for Brentford. You've got Mason Holgate, Isaac Hayden, QPR, Damari Gray. You know what they mean? I don't think they'll win the World Cup or get near it, but I reckon
they haven't qualified.
They've got that group stage.
Yeah, but they haven't qualified.
But they could be in it.
Yeah, but they haven't qualified.
One who's actually.
Yeah.
Curacao, if they still got Cuco Martina.
Curacao qualified.
No, I know.
They drew with Jamaica last night, didn't they, to qualify?
If they still got Cuco, does he still play?
Probably.
No.
He's probably like player manager.
Oh, I thought you were asking about them. Which ones?
See, I've seen Jamaica at a World Cup, so it's not really, and it was full of Premier League players.
Yeah.
And they did all, I think they were in England's group, if I remember. It was 2006, I think. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. There's just going to be, I don't even know what the fixture list is yet, but it's just going to be nuts. It's just going to be like, for that first 2 weeks, it's going to feel like, I think it's going to be like 4 games a day.
That's mental. That's
just going to be off its head, isn't it? How are we going to do watch-alongs for every game?
Did you have a team that you thought would be like a surprise one?
Not a surprise. I don't think there's going to be a surprise team because I honestly feel like those teams are going to be wiped, like the floor's going to be wiped with them. I think like Haiti and Curacao are just going to be destroyed. I think Cape Verde are going to be destroyed.
They have a winger who used to play in them.
Uzbekistan. Like, don't get me wrong, you always get a shock, but I just can't see. When you look at the teams who are in it, and like the European teams and the African teams and the like South American teams, you just look at some of them and think, dear me, they're in for a tough one. Them, like, because even like teams like New Zealand, you think of them and you go, oh, they've been at the last like 3 World Cups, I think now, so they've done all right for themselves. In fact, I think there's an Evertonian who plays in the New Zealand team. I think he's a centre back, goes to college in America. Only a young lad. But
is it Tyler Binden?
I think it might be, you know.
Sheffield United.
I'm not sure. No, I think he's a kid who's in uni in America. He's not even got a team.
It's Minnesota United, the uni team.
No, that's an MLS team. It's an MLS team. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be any 3 a.m. games. I can't imagine there's going to be any 3 a.m. games. I think the late games will be on the East Coast of America. So I think the late games will be 12 maybe at the latest. That would be a 7 o'clock kickoff in America, or maybe a 1 o'clock game. I don't know. You tell me if the times have already been agreed on. Let me know for the World Cup. But I don't know. I don't know because they aren't. I think next month is when the fixtures the World Cup groups get sorted. I think it's next month. Normally in early December they get sorted out. So unless people know already what time the last kickoff's going to be, but I can't imagine there's going to be West Coast games, evening games. I just can't see because that would be with the time difference, 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning in America, and I just can't see it. 2 o'clock in the morning here. I just can't see they'll do that for the European audience. Don't get me wrong, I do believe that if a World Cup is in another country, you should play at their times. No issue with that whatsoever. Because that Club World Cup was ridiculous. Playing games at 12 o'clock in the afternoon when it was boiling hot, that was ridiculous. And the storms we've seen and stuff like that. So, there are ways you can do it. There's ways you can do it so the night games are only on the East Coast. Because that's 5 hours. West Coast is 8 hours. So I can't think of there'll be too many games over on that side of the world. But maybe they will be. Maybe they just like, we don't care. We'll play them. But if you want the big European TV audiences, you aren't going to get many past like 1 o'clock in the morning. And the last time it was in America, I remember these games kicking off they were definitely after 11. I remember them. And they were boss like. Yeah. It was like, what was it? It was like 94. So it was over 30 years ago. So I was like teenager and it was the summer. So it wasn't like I was missing it, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was missing anything. So it's Uruguay. Uruguay's the best one, he says.
Uruguay.
That's if you've never seen I Show Speed World Cup song, honestly find it on YouTube after we finished. It is absolutely tremendous. It is absolutely tremendous. It's just some of his pronunciations, and of course he's doing it on purpose, but his pronunciations of countries are just the best.
How do you feel about there being loads more teams?
I think there is a point of critical mass. There is a point where there'll be too many.
Do you think there'll be too many now?
I don't know. This will be a big tester. I don't think it can go past this. Personally, I just think it's how many years there? 50 odd. I just think this is like, you can get to a point where the quality, I think the last World Cup we had 48. So I think the last World Cup we had 32. I think that was perfect because I think the quality was perfect. I think the lesser teams are still good enough. I worry about some of those lesser teams, and I really worry that. I'd say why I think it's not great. If you've got 3 games in a group and you want to go and win it, I think it's better you play tough teams. If you play a team and they are absolutely terrible, I don't think that helps the team. Now, it might help them if they play them first game and it's a bit like, let's get into the tournament. But I also worry, and this is without being sort of, I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but if you get a situation where teams are becoming over physical and start like feeling like the only way they can stop teams is by kicking them, I feel like that's a bit silly as well. I think the last one was perfect. I think this tournament's going to go for 5 weeks. And don't get me wrong, that's bosh on paper, that's brilliant. But I also think of the knock-on effect that has to the club game as well. That goes to like halfway through July, or that's when teams are starting to come back for pre-season. So there's a knock-on effect. I mean, the knock-on effect for us isn't massive because we haven't got loads of players going away. We won't have loads of players. But there is a knock-on effect, and it knocks on the pre-season for club teams as well. And I just think that, yeah. Danny says the kickoff times are, hang on, 5, 8, 11 and 2. So there are kickoff times at 2 o'clock in the morning. Fair enough. See, that's mad to me. That's mad because the rest of the world has got to like stay up and watch those games, and I'm not being that like, oh, it should be for us, but I just think 2 o'clock in the morning, where maybe if you're sensible and you have them on the West Coast rather than you have the East Coast rather than the West Coast. But listen, whatever. Listen, I'm not going to start crying about the World Cup. I'm not going to start moaning about the World Cup. It's a fantastic tournament. You don't have to watch all the games. You don't have to stay up and watch the games. You know, there might be games where you're like, I'll leave that one. But then there might be one where it's like, I can't miss that one. I think the groups, once it gets past the group stages, I can't imagine there'll be too many 2 o'clock in the morning games once we get into the knockouts.
Yeah.
Because that would just be silly. I think once we get past that, it'd be silly. Have we got someone?
Got Stephen waiting.
Go ahead, put Stephen on.
for a turnaround.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Evening, chaps.
Good evening.
How are we doing?
All right, mate. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good. So I've been listening in. I just managed to get in from work, so I thought I'd give you a quick call.
Nice one.
You've been talking a lot about the World Cup. I was watching Wales last night. Had a great result against North Macedonia.
Absolutely.
And I got to thinking about obviously our predicament and what's been our predicament for a number of years. Wales have got, to their credit, a lot of pace up front and wide.
Yeah.
Which really is probably our weakness and has been our weakness for some time.
Yeah.
So I was thinking Wales's centre mid pairing last night was Liam Cullen from Swansea, who's a decent player, and Josh Sheehan, who I believe is at Bolton Wanderers now, League One. So you've got the Championship / League One pairing in the middle of the park. Obviously, neither of them would get into our midfield. I guess my point is having the threat of pace up front and wide has made such a difference to Wales. Obviously, the manager, the way he wants to play as well, Bellamy, to be fair to his credit, he's done great. But the fact that we've got pace up front, and I know Dan James isn't the greatest either, but collectively, the pace we've got in their side, it just opens so many other options. You know, the defence can clear it long, they can play it into feet, they get players coming in short, spinning in, movement. I was really impressed with how they played, Jez. The best Wales have played for many years last night. They really were. But I just happen to think, why can't we deal with this issue of pace in our team?
Yeah.
Whether it's the
difference in
positions. Honestly, such a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, any of the Everton squad would walk into the Wales team.
I was going to say, it's a pity like James Garner or a Dewsbury Hall aren't eligible for Wales because they're walking.
Oh, they'd make a hell of a difference.
Yeah.
They'd make a hell of a difference to it.
You're right, though, about the pace. Pace terrifies teams. It terrifies opposition teams when you've got pace. And like you're saying there, as long as you compact the team to make the team workman. And let's be honest, Wales have had to transition, haven't they, from a team that was built to cater for Gareth Bale to now a team that has to live without Gareth Bale and Ramsey in many ways. And they've done it, and he's done it really well. You know, I feel like all the managers who've taken over have not taken Wales on to a higher level every time, but they're just a different breed now ever since Gary Speed took over and put the roots down, and then everyone since then has grown it, and some of them we're lucky to have obviously Bale at his best, and you've moved on now to a new era. But just having that pace, and you've got a manager now who obviously was a pacey player, who understands what pace is like, and he's building a team that is compact, but that pace is always going to be a threat with the sprinkling of like Johnson and that, and that just shows you what pace can do. And if Everton had that kind of pace, we've got solid players, but we've also got some good technical players. But having that pace it's sometimes better to not have those technical players, and have no pace than have the pace and have no technical players, if that makes any sense, because pace is what hurts the opposition teams.
Yeah, I mean, from a technical point of view, probably Wales's most technical player is David Brooks.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I love David Brooks.
Yeah, or Harry Wilson, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like even in our defence, one of our defenders, one was Joe Roden, who's obviously at Leeds now, and the other kid was a lad Lawler from Cardiff. He's 19, and he's not playing regularly for them. So it just got me thinking, lads, about pace and what difference, what a massive difference it would make to our team. I'm not saying any of the Wales lads who played last night should be anywhere near the Everton squad. I'm not saying
but
maybe squad, maybe not starting. But I just think what difference it would make if you're playing against a team that's pressing you, and you can bring on somebody with a bit of pace wide or up front, it's just so many different options. Honestly, I just can't believe it's taken us so long to get to a point where, like the fullback situation, why is it taking so long to deal with stuff like that? It just breaks me. I just can't understand it.
And we've had chances as well. We never seem to move away. We never seem to buy pace. We never seem to buy play. We buy good players, but we never seem to buy pacey players. And that's the problem. And the thing is, you can improve pacey players, but you can't give good players pace. So it doesn't, you know what I mean? And I know, like, Baz is very critical of, like, some of the decisions to make, certainly, like, round, like, maybe Tyler Dibblin. Not saying Tyler Dibblin might turn out to be a fantastic player, but, Everton have got 3 players very similar in Dibblin, in Jai, and Grealish, and don't have that one player who is just lightning, who's just like, you can put the ball into the corner and he'll catch it and he'll then run with it, and that's, but Everton, we're dying for that. We are dying for that, and it's got to be the next thing we look at, adding pace to the team. It's one of the issues at centre-back as well. Not having a quick defender means we have to play a deeper line, which means we can't be more expansive as we go forward. And other teams are doing that now, and you're absolutely right. It's fantastic that Wales are in this position. Let me just ask you this about Wales and another. Well, 2 questions here about Wales and the other teams. Do you think, number one, do you think that all of the national teams have been elevated because of the Premier League now? Because we've seen. We've all of the teams are in consideration. Obviously, England, Scotland have qualified. Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Wales are in the playoffs. Do you think by having those Premier League players, that's elevated all of our home nations now?
You could argue the other way, couldn't you? Because you could argue with all the foreign lads coming into the Premier League, it's had a detrimental effect. I think it's improved the level further on down the leagues.
Yeah.
Would I say the Premier League is better now than it was 10, 15 years ago? Probably not.
Mm.
When you look at like I know it was a couple of years ago when Leicester won the league. I mean, they were just a consistent side with a bit of pace up front. There was, like, Man City last year were poor. I know Liverpool did well and won it last season. They ain't going to win it this year. Arsenal were poor. Man United was shocking. Tottenham was. I'd argue maybe 15 years ago the league was better. But what I do
I wouldn't disagree. Do you know what it might be? Maybe I've phrased that wrong. Maybe it's the expansion of, with St George's Park and everything, and England have improved. Maybe it's just the academies and the drip-on effect, rather than the actual Premier League. Maybe it's the drip-on effect of the coaching, and St George's Park has now permeated into the other nations as well. So everyone's learning off each other, because it's obviously we're small islands. So maybe it's that's dripped into those other teams. And as you said, Championship's the 6th best league in the world now. Apparently, it's the 6th best. So obviously, even though you've got Championship players playing for Wales, it's that knock-on effect, I think, that has definitely helped. But you're right, it's probably not the Premier League. It's just all that coaching.
Yeah, definitely. And
the other one I was going to say to you is, I was just going to say to you as well. Wales, I think you have definitely got this, and I think Scotland have got it. I think both Ireland teams have got it now. Is you're like club sides, aren't you, as well? They're like club sides. They've created a club mentality within all those countries. Yeah,
they've got the Together Stronger hashtag banner.
Yeah,
and that was a big thing that was set out back when Gary Speed first went there. He wanted to make it more of a, we're in it together kind of thing.
Yeah. More professional as well.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, whether it's true or not, there's no egos in the Wales squad.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd probably suggest it maybe in the England squad. But when you look back at Wales years ago, when obviously Nev used to be in goal, we had a world class goalkeeper, and arguably a world-class centre-back.
Yeah.
And Kevin Ratcliffe. Yeah. Then you had Rushy up front.
Mark Hughes, Rushy, yeah, he had a great team. It was
Pat Van
one of the greatest.
But we didn't have the coaching. We didn't have the,
And
that was the difference.
And I also feel like at the time the lesser players dragged you down, where I don't think that totally happens now. I think the lesser players dragged you down. And when you were saying about egos there, what was brilliant about like Gareth Bale and Ramsey, where they didn't have egos and everyone like played for them because they were the good players, but they didn't like live off that. That wasn't like, there was no ego there at all. And I love that about those players as well. And you've seen that with hopefully with other countries. You've seen that with Scotland as well. Thought Scotland, they weren't great last night, but they got the job done. And their players are nowhere near what Bale was. Bale was unbelievable, but their players seem to be, it's all part of it. You've got to have a team mentality, I think, now, if you aren't elite. So it's great to see.
Yeah.
Nice one for your call. Nice one, mate. Great to speak to you.
All the best.
See you soon, mate. Yeah, nice one. Northern Ireland are in the playoffs. They are in the playoffs. Don't come at me with your wrong facts. Northern Ireland are in the playoffs. There you go. They finished third in the group, but they are in the playoffs. Do you know why?
Why?
Because of their performance in the Nations League.
The Nations League's not even real, though.
I'm not just saying it is or it isn't. But that tells you, if you play your cards right and you do well in the Nations League, you got an opportunity. And they were one of the 4 best teams in the Nations League. And so that's how not one of the best 4 as in like they didn't, but I think they won their thing. So they qualify for a playoff place. So there you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's all I'm going to say. Any more comments on Premier? I feel like Premier are letting us down. I feel like too many moody ones are like, there should have been a 5 o'clock this.
So James said we really need all the home nations to qualify for an amazing World Cup. Both Irish teams still to qualify. Can't understand why they aren't one team.
Mate, how long have you got? And many people would say, well, because they're 2 different countries, but the rugby team's won. Wow. The rugby team has won All Ireland. The thing about it is, if you give up like a nation like Northern Ireland gives up that, they lose everything. So if Northern Ireland said we want to be one big country just for footy, not the whole country. I mean, it's going to happen eventually. Ireland will become one country eventually. Very slowly, but it will happen. You give up all your European places, and you give up. So you would have to. So if you still had a separate league, your league wouldn't get European places. Okay. So it's why the Welsh teams can't play in Europe. So I know that thing was muted of like the Welsh team should be able to get into Europe. They can't. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when they used to. So Wrexham and like used to get in European Cup Winners' Cup all the time because they were allowed to play in the Welsh Cup, and if they won it, they were allowed to be in Europe, and then it was stopped because it was like, no, you play in England, you can't have it both ways.
I have a question.
Go on.
So you know the way you said the rugby about the same. Why is that allowed? And also because it's sort of the same with like the Olympics where it's Great Britain and stuff. Why are you allowed? Because it's Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It's not Ireland. No, I know, but why are you allowed different stuff for different sports? Because it all goes down to the confederations. It all goes down to the confederations, and this is why Great Britain can't play in the Olympics footy. Yeah. Because FIFA they did, but it was it was forgiven for once. They were scared. The other nations, not England, the other nations were scared that FIFA would strip them. Would go, well, you can't play if you're going to be GB all the time then, and you can't represent 2 banners. And they were all the home nations were worried that they'd be stripped, and they'd be stripped of funding. Mm-hmm. Their leagues wouldn't get any places in Europe. So at the moment you've got a situation where Northern Irish teams are playing in Europe and Irish teams are playing in Europe, and you have 2 separate leagues. But that simply wouldn't happen. Yeah. Listen, will it happen eventually? Probably. Generation by generation, it's getting closer. I'm not
telling anyone whether it should or shouldn't happen. But eventually you would imagine it will happen at some point. It mightn't be for years and years and years, but I imagine it will happen at some point. But you lose all your funding and you lose your European places and all that kind of thing. So, but it's Northern Ireland have been a better team than the Republic of Ireland for the last couple of years. Much better. I mean,
player for player, though, I think Ireland.
Player for player, but that's not the point, is it? It's a team sport, and what they've done in Northern Ireland is cultivate a team, and they've got loads of really good young players coming through. And
Isaac Price.
Isaac Price and the kid who's at Liverpool. I watched him play for Northern Ireland, and he was unbelievably good. And they're dead proud as well. They're so proud of their countries.
Yeah.
So, but rugby's different. Rugby's a different sport. I don't know whether that many people in Northern Ireland are that arsed. Whereas football, it's different, isn't it? It's like it's a different kind of passion. It's different. It's a different thing. The playoff draw is tomorrow, Eugene. Thank you for that information. Yeah, and they will be played in March. So the way that works is you play. It's 2 games, isn't it? But so you're drawn. I think you're drawn for your first one, and then it's a one-off game, and then the second one. I'm not sure if that's a one-off or that's 2-legged. I'm not 100% sure. So you have to beat 2 different countries to qualify.
Well, on the what's it called, the World Cup website, it says 42 teams have already qualified out of 48, and then there's 6 in that tournament. Where's the other?
I don't know, mate.
I thought you'd know.
On what is it?
So there's 42 that have already qualified for the World Cup. There's 6 in that tournament, and you say with 3.
6 in what tournament? Sorry,
the playoff tournament.
Isn't there's other countries, isn't there? Isn't there
there's still other teams.
There's like Africans. No, you said it before, didn't you? There's
6 teams in that: Bolivia, Congo, Iraq, Jamaica, New Caledonia,
and the European ones.
So there's still another 6 that go into that.
So you've got like Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland. Sandbanks, I think you're massively wrong. I think there's a huge chance that they'll merge. There's a huge chance because there's a huge chance. I'm not sure why you don't like the Republic of Ireland. It's an unbelievably beautiful country with brilliant people, but you do you. I mean, if we're going to get political, it literally is their island. It literally is Ireland. It got invaded by the British. Again, the British sticking their nose in where they shouldn't. But it's an unbelievable, beautiful island, and it is basically Ireland with a little bit of UK on the top that really shouldn't be there. But anyway,
Phil said there's more games still getting played. That's why. Not all the teams have qualified for the playoffs. Yeah.
Where? I don't know. Yeah. So so you've got the international playoff spots. So there's some in Africa. I think there's like you said before, New Caledonia. So you've got some in the Oceanic, some in Africa, some in the Middle East. So Asia, that comes under Asia, I think. Some Africa, some Asia. And you've got some in CONCACAF, so Central America, I think, as well, or North America, Central America, and obviously the European ones. So how many spaces are left to fill?
6.
Is that all there is? 6?
There's 42 teams qualified now.
So that means only 3 from Europe are going to go? Wow. So the chances of it being Wales, Ireland and Northern Ireland are pretty slim, aren't they?
But not impossible.
Not impossible, especially when you've got like the likes of Italy in there, haven't you? You've got Czechia. You've got like your Slovakias and all that malarkey. But all that malarkey. There you go. Any more Premier comments before we go?
Bill Cummings says, I think Garner could get in the England squad if he keeps improving and when Henderson retires. Bill Cummings also said, expanding the World Cup is just about profit again. No regard to the player welfare or the quality of the tournament. We are reaching a too much football level for me.
No, I can't disagree with that. That's what I was saying before about critical mass. I do think this tournament is really going to test that. But the problem is, and this is the ultimate problem, it's all about money, isn't it? And we've seen Infantino Well, Infantino couldn't get any further up Donald Trump's arse if he tried. He's going to give him some kind of peace award next month as well at this thing. It's just pretty disgusting because he's just the horrendous. Yeah, he's a sycophant and it's just horrendous. But it is all about money. FIFA want their pie, and they've seen that. They'll have seen last night's scenes, Scotland and Ireland over the weekend. They'll be like, that's what we want. So, I don't know, but it's going to get to a point where... Also, and I know people have mentioned it, the pricing for this World Cup, by the way, is a disgrace.
To America, it's going to be.
No, but it's like, because America... So we're, in this country, decided they're going to outlaw secondary tickets out. But in America, that's rife. Tickets out are illegal in America. So you can basically go on day one, buy all the tickets and sell them for thousands of pounds. And that's just capitalism, apparently. That's just capitalism. So all the fans, Scottish fans and English fans, are going to get a massive shock when they get over there, because they're just going to have to pay to the absolute nose for these tickets. I know some tickets will have been held back for like the hardcore, but other fans, you're going to have to take out a mortgage to go to this World Cup. You're going to have to take up a mortgage.
Was it you who was moaning about
probably,
you know, Americans who say they're Irish but they're not actually Irish, that they're all going to be buzzing now that Ireland are actually going to be in it?
No,
I thought that was you who was having a go at that. It feels like something you'd have a go about.
If you're Irish, aren't you?
I know, but the Americans who say they're Irish when they're not actually Irish.
No, if you're not actually Irish, then
you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
If you come from Irish stock, then you're Irish.
But they're not Irish, are they?
No, they're American. But if they live their lives as like surround themselves with Irish culture, then they're Irish.
Not Irish though.
So my wife's not Irish.
That's different.
Why is it different?
We're like an hour away.
Okay. All right.
On the other side of the world.
All right.
No, I'm not having it.
But there's places like Boston and Chicago which have big Irish like heritage, and everyday people, you know, that I know it's getting less and less as we go away from the people who come over for them. But if their grandparents were Irish, then they might feel very Irish. Just saying.
Not having it.
Just saying, James. Listen, that's cool.
I can't believe you're on that side of this as well. I thought you'd be right with me.
Not really, no, because America is a melting pot of people who come from all over the world, and they don't ever give that up. And that's,
but they're not Irish.
Yeah, but that's up to that. Is Adam Luchman Nigerian?
Yeah.
Well, why is he Nigerian? He wasn't born in Nigeria.
He was born in Nigeria,
was he?
I think so.
Victor Anichebe Nigerian? Or was he
was actually born in Nigeria.
Was he just brought up? Yeah, but these people, what I'm saying is, when people get brought up in a culture, and I haven't got an iPhone, so ha 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 ha, I haven't got an iPhone. These people are brought up in cultures, and they don't.
I know, but
all right,
yeah, no,
James.
It's not worth it.
James, that's fine, mate. People get brought up in a culture where they feel more attached to the culture they've been brought up in just because they were born in a place. They mightn't feel, but then it works the other way around. People come from all over the world to these countries, and they feel they get the green card, or they come here and they feel British or they feel American. It works both ways. Again, you just can't tell people how to feel, can you?
I'm telling them.
If you've been brought up by Irish parents or Irish grandparents, you're going to feel very Irish. Because you're going to be brought... That's
assuming they have been brought up by Irish grandparents. I
don't know what to tell you. Again, I haven't got an iPhone. You can keep saying it, but I haven't got an iPhone.
He's got a Samsung.
I haven't got an iPhone. So, doesn't really matter, does it? You keep your capitalism because it's working great, isn't it? Anyway... Someone's saying something here, and I can't see what it says. Oh, the boys of the NYPD are Irish, but wasn't it the boys of the NYPD choir? They always put choir. Sorry, I apologise. See, there's a little heart on my screen blocking it out. There's no such thing as actually the NYPD choir, though. That was made up for the song. And, of course, the song is, James.
NYPD choir. I don't know. What is it?
What if I said, and the bells were ringing out?
Oh, yeah.
For Christmas Day. Yeah, there you go. There you go. People can be whatever they want. As long as they're not horrible to each other, then people can be whatever they want. And if you want to be Irish, let them be Irish.
They're not Irish.
But that's you saying that. If they feel Irish, then they're Irish.
You see Americans in interviews and they say they're Irish and they're not.
They're Irish. If they want to be Irish, they're Irish.
The Italian ones, they're on the thin ice as well.
Why are they? It's culture.
They're not Italian.
It's culture. I don't feel English.
What do you feel?
Nothing. I don't feel anything to anyone. I don't feel English. I don't feel I have any attachment to England. I don't feel any attachment to England. I have an attachment to my city, but I don't feel English. I don't feel any attachment. I see what goes on in this country, and I look at it, and I'm just like, these people aren't me. So I don't feel any attachment, but I also don't feel any I'm not one of these people who go, oh, I'm going to be Irish because I feel I'm not Irish. I'm pretty much nothing.
You're Scouse.
I'm Scouse. Yeah, I don't, but I am. I have an attachment to my city. No, but I do though. I have an attachment to my city, but I don't have an attachment to the country I was born in. I don't mind saying British, because when I'm watching like the Olympics and stuff, I do get behind the Olympic team. I do like Great Britain, but so I do have an attachment to being British, because I feel like I've taken bits off all the different things. But I certainly don't have an attachment to England. It's just not there. I've no when England play, I have no interest. Couldn't care less whether they win, lose or draw. So there you go. People can just do what they want. Italians and Irish and people like that. It comes through the culture. If they've been brought up in a certain culture, then that's their culture, isn't it? And if you go knocking on their door and say, well, you should be this, and you go, well, why should I? You have no bin, James, or didn't have a bin, but now you do have a bin. Do you? So how does that work for you in terms of culture?
I've not used it once. It's in the garden.
It's in the garden.
Or if the yard.
That bin hasn't been used.
No, been touched.
It's controversial.
We got it. I put them in the back garden. Not been touched since. We still use the pale ones at the bottom of the street.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I can't tell you how to use your bin.
You can't tell me my truth.
It's your truth. I can't tell you how to use your bin.
You're judging me for not having a purple bin.
No.
These Americans who've
I judged you for not having a bin.
They're not Irish.
What colour's your bin?
Brown.
So is that why you don't leave it outside your house? Because you're
No, because you've got the habit. There's the one. They're literally like.
Are you sure it's because it's not purple? I think if it was purple, I think you'd have it outside your house.
No, because it's a main road, so you can't put it outside. Really.
Okay. Fair play. Again, I can't tell you your bin truth.
But you can't tell me my truth about whether I believe Americans are Irish, and I don't.
I sort of can.
I'm not telling that.
Because you're trying to the thing about it is because you're telling them.
Yeah.
So you're telling them, so I can sort of look back at that as a person who's part of that kind of culture and family and go, well, I can't tell you that these people
different
are.
For you though.
Why is it different?
Because you could get there by 6 o'clock, really, if you wanted to.
To Ireland? No, you couldn't.
7 o'clock.
You got it past
7 o'clock if you really, really wanted to. Americans, they couldn't, and they've never been that close.
But that doesn't matter.
I don't accept it.
If you lived on Mars, right, and you were born on Earth, would you regard yourself as an Earthling? Even though?
Yeah, because I've lived here for 23 years.
Okay. Fair enough. What if you were born on Mars, but your parents were Earthlings and they grew up with all the English, all the Earth stuff, and then...
I lived on Earth and grew up in the actual...
No, but would you regard yourself as a Martian?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was born there and I've been my whole life.
But would you have an issue if someone else regard themselves as an Earthling because their parents were from Earth and they grew up in the culture of Earth?
Yeah.
Okay. That's consistent, and I'm with you there. I'm with you. That's consistency.
Especially grandparents.
Sandbanks Blues. I'm not being funny, but you come across as a massive bigot. That's just a bit sad that that's how you come across. No disrespect. It's just how you come across. Who cares? You think a drink is better because it was made in England? Fair enough. Sound. I couldn't care less. I could not care less. If there was you to give me two things and one was made on Mars and one was made in England, and the one from Mars, it tastes better, I'd have the one from Mars. So it's just a bit weird. I just don't get. I don't get that, but you do you. But I just don't get that thing of like, because you were born somewhere, then it's amazing. It's not. England's just, state of it at the moment. Right. Let's go. I've got to go. I'll be on Radio Merseyside at 6 o'clock. Thank you for watching. See you all later.